Welcome to the Social Podcast, where no discussion or debate is off limits.
We have got a panel for you. Joining me today, comedians Elvira Kirk, Kyle Brownrigg, and journalist and speaker Farah Nasser. Welcome, all of you. This is The Social, okay? It is The Social. And my gosh, are we going to talk about the story that everyone is talking around the world? Well, listen to this. I don't know if you heard, but Joe Jonas is now the latest artist to remove a lyric referencing Sean Diddy Combs from his music. Oh. Yeah, so Joe dropped Diddy from the Cake by the Ocean song during a performance in France last weekend. Now, if you don't know, Combs is now facing more than 100 new sexual assault allegations. Oh. And some of the alleged victims are reported to be as young as 9 years old. Okay, so listen, there's that part of the story, but for us as listeners of music, has this impacted maybe the way you listen to his music at all?
I mean, I'm an absolutist, so for everyone else, I have been like R. Kelly, bye-bye. I have been like No Cosby Show, you know. I'm finding this one hard, even though I want to. His music is just so pervasive.
Right.
It's in everywhere.
Everywhere. Yeah.
It is my teens, my 20s, right? For decades. You can't underestimate.
There's so many artists who are like going through the catalog. Which are my songs? Oh my gosh! No, not this one. I gotta scrap that line. I gotta change it.
Yeah, it's true. He's ubiquitous.
No, he is. I mean, you think about Kesha's song, right?
Right? She had to change a lyric.
She changed it at Coachella, but it starts with, you know, starting out the morning, like, I'm not going to say it.
Yeah, I can't say it. I mean, see, I know. Doesn't it feel even weird?
Totally.
What about the both of you?
His name.
Yeah.
But having said that, I mean, can you separate the artist from the person, right? Can you?
That's the question, right? I mean, because no part of pop culture is untouched by this, right? Mm-hmm. It's like the whole Me Too movement started in film with Harvey Weinstein, and then it's just been a domino where you start having to compartmentalize as a fan, right? Like, am I going to be able to enjoy this music? Michael Jackson, has he ruined everything?
Right.
Like all
That's
the
a good
songs
one.
are, I don't know.
Well, Puff Daddy, it's interesting. Like, I mean, when I was growing up, I was very white and nerdy. I used to think his name was Puff Diddley. I'm not joking. Like, really, I did. I seriously did. So
He might have to change his name.
Yeah, well, he's changed it. Sean John Combs, Diddy Puff. Like, it changes every year, right?
It's interesting, though, because Diddley seems to be the most appropriate.
Wow. Yeah.
That's just the least. How did this guy have time to make music, given all of the accusations?
All the parties.
But the conversation is all really about like separating the art from the artist, and some people really they just can't. They can't separate the art from the artist. And if you really like love his music and you actually can't separate the art from the artist, remember that all music is a product that they're trying to sell. So if you can't separate the art from the artist, just steal their music. All right, just steal it. There you go.
I mean, the choices as a fan are going to come down to if you are an absolutist and you just cancel everybody in your own mind, because it does kind of taint the experience of listening. It's like, I can't, you know, if I wanted to watch a Woody Allen movie, it's like, oh, I know who's behind the camera. It's so gross. I can't possibly digest this. But then how long, if you go down that road, how long before, you know, the only thing that I can listen to on my playlist is the Muzak version of the birthday song. The only book on my bookshelf is going to be Goodnight Moon, and the only thing I can watch is Pong from 1972. The first video game. There's nothing left.
You know, you bring up a good point. Like, to me, I'm a hard no. I have wiped Diddy from my music catalog.
Wow.
And I'll tell you why. It didn't even start with just this case. It started with the Cassie video. And Cassie was his longtime girlfriend. If you didn't see the video, I'm telling you probably don't. And that was allegedly caught in a hotel hallway where he physically assaulted her pretty brutally. And it turned me so bad against Diddy. I saw him in a whole new light that you can't jam and be like, yeah, I'm in the club when you see that guy doing that thing on the video, allegedly. And so to me, I think if he makes money off of me streaming that song, I am not giving you one more cent of mine. And that's the only control I have. It might be, listen, it probably makes zero difference, but to me, it feels like my own little mini protest. So if that's the one thing I can do, is I'm not going to contribute to domestic violence. So.
There's literally nothing else we can
Yeah.
do. What can we do?
What can we do?
So
Yeah.
this is the one thing that we can do.
This is the one thing we can do. It's true.
It's getting harder to be a fan of anything.
It's so true. Good point.
And you know, I'm just so curious about every other name that's associated. Like,
Oh,
what
God.
is all these PR machines are just lawyers.
I feel like Oprah's one of them. I really do. I feel like there's crazy names that are coming up, but don't forget, right now there are currently 120 allegations from 120 people, and apparently there are going to be 100 more. And they're not doing it as a class action; they're doing it as individual cases. And I'm sorry, he's denied everything. It's like, honey, where there is smoke, there is fire, right?
Yeah, the shoe's gonna drop. Yep.
We'll be watching, and I know we'll be covering it. So Selena Gomez, right? She has a net worth of over $1.3 billion, but don't ask her about that money, no, because Selena told Entertainment Tonight that she thinks it's distasteful to talk about money. When you have that much money, is it distasteful, Kyle, to talk about money?
Well, of course she's going to say that it's distasteful to talk about money because there is nobody more beloved and relatable in America than billionaires. Right? She has to stay humble. She has to be relatable. It's part of her brand. It's part of her everything. But talking about money, I think the only time that you ever really can talk about money is like in a rap song because you're like bragging about how much money that you have and being a baller. So I guess the answer is no. No, I don't think you should ever talk about money.
You don't. I think that I helped her become a billionaire. I should be able to ask you about it. I got the rare deal. I gotta say, the lip gloss hits. Okay, the lip gloss is banging, and I will have to say this: why do a lot? I'm not saying just her, but why do any of these celebrities diversify and create perfume lines, makeup lines, clothing lines? They're trying to become a part of the billionaires club, and then you get there and you're like, don't ask me about it. It's like, to me, it's like the reluctant billionaire is a role that I'm just not that sympathetic to.
Okay, but now, she's a billionaire. Let's put that aside.
And I love Selena, by the way. I do love her.
What about you, though? What if I asked
If
you
I'm a
about
billionaire?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, what if not? What if I asked you about how much money you
I'm very open with money. I'm not going to tell you how much I make on national television. But in general, with a lot of friends, I am, especially with women. I think women sharing money information with other women is extremely powerful,
important, yeah.
especially in workplaces where we know there is a gender pay gap that's this huge. So I talk to Money about my daughter. She knows how much our mortgage is. She knows how much we pay for this, for that, because I want to break the taboo. In general, our culture does have a problem with sex and money, and I think we should break that.
It's true, yeah. I mean,
Yeah, what about you? Did you clench up when we said?
I totally did. I was raised by people, we don't talk about money, we don't ask about money, but I agree with you. I think that we need to talk about it more. And then once we've talked about money, then we should move on to religion.
Sex? All of it. Let's put it all out there.
Let's do all of it. What about
man. It's funny. I made sure at my previous job that my co-anchor and I were paid the same. That was huge for me. And
Can I ask, how did you achieve that?
I asked him.
You asked him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and we discussed it, and our boss was open-minded. And in fact, when we had to renegotiate our contract, he was like, "Let's do it separately. You do you, I do me." Oh. And so he did his own contract, and then I did mine, and I got both of us more money.
Wow.
I'm a very good negotiator. So anyway, I can deal with that, but personal stuff, I find it hard to talk about. With friends, I find it hard to talk about.
Well, I mean, I'm a professional stand-up comedian. I don't want to brag. And money is not really a thing in our industry, right? You don't get into comedy for the money. And most of the time, for me, it's like...
as a billionaire.
But for me, it's like, I don't know, money is always kind of, I've been poor my entire life. I don't know about y'all, but I've always struggled in my entire 20s because I love what I do, but it took a long time to get here. But I'm used to being paid with like a loaded gun on the table after a comedy set, seriously, because it's just so sketchy. But the thing is nobody wants to talk about that kind of the end of it. It depends on your industry. But obviously, Selena Gomez, she's a billionaire, good for her, but she doesn't want to say it because she wants to be relatable. That's all I have to say.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
There we go.
This one is meaty. We're facing a looming teacher shortage caused by rising retirement and increased student enrollment here in Ontario. Documents obtained by the Canadian Press show that many school boards are struggling with recruitment and retainment. Is retainment a word? Is that my education? No, my education is terrible. Is it retention? Anyway, how do we solve these problems? What can be done to make the teaching profession more attractive?
Well, listen, as a former teacher, I think there's a lot that can be done. First and foremost, I think we have to somehow get back to a place where we respect the profession of teaching again. I think somewhere along the way we have lost or have conveniently forgotten how hard teachers work to educate our children.
Oh my God.
So I give you an example. You know, class sizes just keep increasing, and the teacher is the same, and yet the classes today are so complex with different student needs. So how do we expect one teacher to manage 28 students with 28 different learning styles? Perhaps there are some learning disabilities. So let's give teachers in schools the resources they need to actually do their job. Let's respect teachers again. Let's reduce those class sizes. Simple. And so I think there's some simple things that you can do outside of just money. And can we stop once and for all telling teachers, well, you have 2 months off. You know what they need that 2 months off for? To recover for next school year.
I think it needs to be a societal shift. Like, I think you've nailed it, right?
Totally.
Like, we look at doctors like, saving lives. These people are changing the future. Like, they are literally shaping young minds, and they are going to impact our entire society. Yet we look at them like, with this kind of thought that they're not as high in terms of profile or in terms of professionalism or status as other people. They should be higher.
Right, and what about... And where does that come from? I think it was you were mentioning it earlier. There's a big gender bias, right? Sorry,
75%.
Kyle.
Sorry for 2 seconds.
That's why I'm here. Hi.
75% of teachers in Canada are female, and the way that I look at education system is the way I look at the healthcare system. Up to 85% of workers in the healthcare system are female. We don't respect women's work.
Boom!
We don't.
Boom!
We don't.
But I definitely...
Kyle, what do you have to say?
Exactly right. What are you going to do about it? They're like, we hate men now, Kyle. I really 100%. I think you put the nail on the head. And I know that you said that it's not about money, because a big part of the argument that they're saying is that teachers are being paid enough. I have to say, double the money. And here's why. I could never do that job. Could you? I could never do that job.
I mean, what did we learn in the pandemic is that the one thing every parent learned during the pandemic is we can't have the kids at home. Kids need to be in school.
No, truly. If I was a teacher, I say this all the time. By the second day of class, trying my hardest, I'd be like, okay, kids, today we're going to be taking a nap at the bottom of the pool. Like, no, absolutely not. They should be on that status of doctors and lawyers.
And can I talk to parents here too? Because I have heard so many moms who are like, exactly, they have the summers off, or this teacher didn't do this, or, all the complaining, or they work, like school hours. They don't work as long as I do.
Right, no.
Do you know the work that they do and the work that they take home?
Yeah.
I think that parents are perpetuating this, and I think we have to really think about what we're saying about our teachers and change that narrative.
It's true. The best thing would be for parents to go on strike. And this is like...
For parents to go on strike?
Yeah, we stop working, we stop going to our jobs until teachers get the respect they deserve.
Wow.
Right? So forget a teacher strike. Just shut Canada down until we make the system, because it's not working the way it is.
It's not working.
No.
It's true. And I do get scared for the state of the public school system until things start to change. So
it's so true.
We're not going to solve the world's problems here, but we're trying. We're trying.
For all the teachers watching.
Yes, exactly.
For all the teachers out there watching right now, what are you doing? Why aren't you teaching?
This is true. This is true. Listen, there's just a bit of good news today, because the babushka scarf is trending. What is this? It was made famous by none other than Queen Elizabeth. You see her scarf around, a fashionable scarf. So it's been popping up in fashion circles and runways everywhere. Kyle, is this your version of a babushka? Wow, really hot.
This is what I wear to get groceries.
Wow.
I don't know why why this isn't back.
You're right. It looks like I'm like going to a Medica, you know? Like, absolutely.
Although it does mean something different in a gay bar.
Oh, it's very true. This is very true. This is very, don't Google that. This is very true. No, I think this is not a look for me, but I think it could work for somebody else.
No.
This is very fun for me. I don't know.
No.
Do you think it's working? Is this working?
I mean, it's doing something.
It's doing something. I don't know if we're quite getting there.
Yeah. Anybody down? Because this is supposed to protect our hair.
This is my entire childhood, is the babushka. Not this exactly, but
Not this
it cannot become a global trend. I will not be able to walk out of the house without being triggered. Just, is that my mother? It's my grandmother. Dude, like, no, it's too much. It's not, how does it look attractive? It just means you're hiding your dirty hair.
Oh, maybe so.
So I think I am a babushka already. So I've embraced this like old lady era. Like after COVID, when you guys all went to hard pants and stuff, I stayed in my pajamas for drop off and pickup. So I'm loving this. Like whatever's comfortable,
Wow.
Uggs, cover my hair, jogging pants. I'm very happy.
You're into this.
I'm in. I'm gonna double down on it. This is not usually what I look like.
I do find it interesting that when Queen Elizabeth wears a silk scarf on her head, it gets fashion. But you know, like black women wear silk bonnets to protect their hair all the time, and it's looked at very differently for some reason. And I do question that sometimes.
Sure.
Is that not fashion as well? And so I will say this is a hard no for me. I am team hoodie. If I need to protect my hair, thank you. It's the hoodie. It's not the babushka.
I'll be honest, this is actually getting really hot on my head, so it's going to be
Yeah, why don't you take that off? You want to take that off? Yeah, there we go. There we go. Free the hair. Free the hair. Today's audience is DTP, down to partay. Okay, I don't know if this woman was partying because a very disappointed 40-year-old woman wrote to the advice columnist at The Cut saying her husband screwed up her 40th birthday. This is what she says: no card, no gift of any significance. He even slept in that morning. She is the one who had to get up and get the kids ready and out the door for school. But she's actually really nice because she's giving him a chance at a redo. But she's wondering, is this even being immature? Does he even deserve that, Kyle?
Okay. I am so excited to answer this question because when we got this topic, I was like, okay, I'm about to give the best advice. First of all, absolutely. You want him to screw up. You want him to redo. And here's why. You will never receive a gift that is greater than one that has been motivated by guilt. Oh my God. You're getting that 18-karat gold necklace. You know what I'm saying? Because he's like, oh my God, so he like double has to make up for it. It's a yes for me.
It's a yes. Let him screw up.
For me. Oh yeah.
Let him do the redo.
Absolutely.
Are you down for this?
I think she was very nice to let him do the reading. Like I would have left him. I would have been like, what? No, what do you mean? No card? No nothing? Are you nuts?
No dinner?
No dinner?
How do you forget such a milestone? It's not like a middle of the decade birthday, right?
No,
like
not a
32,
rando.
33, 40?
Yeah.
40 that happens only once. No, I do also put some blame on the birthday person, right? Because you do have to announce, guess what? I'm gonna be 40. You should have been talking about it from I mean, this tells me a lot. It says that you're not a Sagittarian because my fellow Sagittarians know day after your birthday in December or late November, you're already planning the next year's. It is what we do.
I will say this. This is also a PSA to any partners out there. If you forgot her milestone birthday, and even if she says it's okay, she's low-key gonna resent you for the rest of your life.
100%.
I'm sorry, she's never gonna forget. There are a few women out there who are like, it's not a big deal. But the 99% of us say it's a big deal.
It's a big deal.
To your point of announcing, I turned 50 in 3 years. Oh yeah.
Save the date.
Save the date.
Ryan,
but I'm
are you listening,
I'm
Ryan?
making the announcement now because I'm the planner in the household, and I do expect my husband, Ryan, I'm talking to you, to do something. But I also have a year's worth of events. It's going to be Melissa's World Tour. 50. That's what I'm talking about. Listen, talking about it. 50 and fearless.
Yeah.
You know, and 0 bleeps to give.
Exactly.
So I want this to be an event, and I do think For people who have the privilege of hitting milestone birthdays, it is incumbent on all those who love you around you to celebrate that privilege.
Absolutely.
Do it. Do
And
it.
let everyone know. Let everyone know it's coming. Now we know what this segment is happening to you. 3 years from now. Now we know. 3 years from now, where are we going to be? We're going to be at your birthday.
Exactly.
Subscribe to the Social Podcast so you don't miss a fiery debate. Until next time, socialites.